United States and the collective West were used to carry out any policy they want against any country all around the world and shape whatever government they want. In recent decades though, we have seen many cases where they were not part of big changes or tried to implement a change and were not able to do so, like in Syria, Caucasus, Lebanon, Yemen, and so on. Hello my friends, this is Shafi with a new episode of Political Affairs after a long time. This topic was so hot that I had to have a look at it. The American so-called plan for the Greater Middle East collapsed. They planned to disintegrate almost all the countries in this region, but they were not able to do so. And serious signs of a new multipolar world order is beginning to emerge now. The Islamic Republic of Iran was the first country to talk about the new order more than 10 years ago, but no one took it seriously. Now we see it happen, and the Iran, which was the initiator of this new order, is gaining position in it as a global power, especially after incidents of recent years and months. Up to 2 years ago, the collective West, including Israel, had 3 policies against the Islamic Republic of Iran to overthrow the government and preferably after that, to disintegrate the country into several countries and cause a continuous war between the newly formed countries for resources, land, and so on. It was firstly economic pressure on the ordinary Iranians by putting harsh sanctions in place, which must have led to huge street protests, and it did. The biggest one happened 2 years ago, which was called the mass uprising, and it didn't work out the way the West expected. So the only way for them was to try a war. But this one also turned out not to be practical lately. Israel, following the horrific war in Gaza, invaded the Iranian embassy in Damascus. I guess we all know what would every sovereign nation do in response to such an aggression. But this response was much heavier than anyone expected and was followed by almost no reaction from the other side. It was orchestrated in a way not to provoke the warmonger Netanyahu, but at the same time to assess the response of the collective West. And in the end, a coalition of the Western powers and some Arab countries were not able to stop all the drones and missiles from hitting heavily defended military targets in Israel. This is while they all knew the exact time of the attack and even those old and simple drones and missiles that were used. It was actually a tiny portion of the real power of Iran without engaging their friends and proxies in the region. Therefore, after this attack and the prevention of any response by Israel to Iran, USA showed a sign that they have taken their lesson. The possibility of carrying out a successful military operation against Iran is zero. Iran has reached deterrence against a superpower without possessing any nuclear warhead. Now Tehran is more comfortable in implementing regional and international policies because there are almost no way for the West to stand against them, and they are seeking for a more robust international role. Besides, the US sees Iran as a rational player because they never embark on a dangerous action if they don't know the consequences. This is why Israel under Netanyahu is totally dangerous for the United States. In fact, now we see that Washington and Europe are trying to bring Iran into the table and give them a share to play with. In the past, they were only a card for others to play with. But this will only last while Democrats are in the White House, and who knows who will be in the Oval Office in a few months. Iran survived almost 50 years of isolation, created its own economy which includes all industries based on domestic knowledge, developed its own sophisticated military arsenal, and now have many supporters and friends all around the world. Some may call them proxies. But this is not what the West expected a few decades ago. Iran was supposed to collapse and be disintegrated, not to flourish and conquer. Iran for the West was supposed to be another Afghanistan. Thank you so much for watching.